as far as like what made me come back was just me being around all of these other energies, other groups of people, connecting to this, connecting to that, and seeing them getting no results in their life, seeing their life turn to shit. And I'm like, okay, y'all ain't on to nothing. Let me go back to what I know. First, God. And I got on my knees and I said, God, if I don't have this right, if I'm doing this wrong, please give me a sign. And then I just started to get sign after sign after sign. Jesus, 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 Jesus. What's good, gang? It's imaniblaize here, and I'm back with another video. Let me let you know, I speak openly, honestly about all things mental health, healing, more specifically childhood trauma healing, spirituality, just honest, raw, real talk. And I just burnt some Palo Santo so that I could just have the vibes, positive vibes, positive vibes. If you're like, why did you burn Palo Santo? It just brings in positive energy. So what am I talking about today? Stop letting other people tell you what to believe in. I'm going to just go ahead and roll into it. Y'all know I speak honestly and openly from my own point of view, my own experiences. So I want to first start off by saying nothing that I'm saying is law. This is just my experience, and you do with this information what you need to, but my goal is to always make sure that you are thinking for yourself and that you're not following trends and that you're like really going within. So I just want to share my journey with coming back to the spirit of Jesus. And if you're somebody listening to this and you heard me say that and it made you like cringe, or you like, I'm about to get off this video, you're the person that I encourage to actually listen to the words coming out of my mouth. I used to be, I'm not going to say I am. I used to be one of the most free-spirited people that you know. And over time, connecting with my ancestors really on a level that like created change in my life taught me that I'm here to be a free spirit, but there are things that I need to pay attention to, and there are things that I need to surrender to and not act like I don't see these things or feel these things. And for a long time, when I first came into spirituality minus religion, because I do want to land that I'm not a religious person. I do not identify as a Christian. And I do not feel like you have to be, I don't feel like you have to acknowledge Jesus Christ to have access to God. So I want to acknowledge that first. I've already acknowledged a bunch of things. I'm stuttering because I'm honestly nervous about this conversation, but I've been called to host it via my platform. So it's not really a conversation because nobody's talking back to me, but I hope you feel what I'm saying. But for a long time, when I came into spirituality minus the religion part of things, like I was completely anti the Bible. I was completely anti Jesus Christ. I was completely on the Black woman is God, and there's still truth to that. Everything is everything. I want to say that. But over time, when I was spending real time in like dealing with groups that were heavy into the occult, dealing with groups who don't acknowledge God and just say the universe, dealing with people who are actually battling spiritual warfare on levels that I wasn't at the time, dealing with people who were battling demons and coming to crystals and tarot and all of these tools as their answer, I was not at peace. I was dealing with more spiritual warfare than I had ever dealt with, ever. And I had to surrender. And it was my ancestors who brought me back to the Bible, that brought me back to acknowledging Jesus. And I won't say it was my ancestors, it was God, and it was the spirit of Jesus as well. But like, when I started paying attention to like, what did my ancestors do? Because this is something that maybe I probably won't be able to go fully into detail with it in this video, but like, everybody's ancestors was not practicing Ifa religion. Everybody's ancestors did not connect to Oshun and all of these other deities. Like, that is not for everyone. And when I first came into things, like, I was following trends and I was trying to connect to this deity and this goddess, and my ancestors are like, we weren't practicing that. And for a minute, I'm like, well, y'all weren't practicing it, but that's because I've been chosen to free us from religion and practice something new. And it's just like, no, honey, that's not it. Now, one thing that I can acknowledge is I don't know everything, and I'm still on a journey. So as I dive deeper into things, maybe I will be called to connect to a deity. Maybe I will be called to connect to a goddess. But as of right now, I'm called to connect to the spirit of Jesus. And it was surrendering to all that was coming around me when I kept fighting off that spirit. So long story short, as far as like what made me come back was just me being around all of these other energies, other groups of people, connecting to this, connecting to that, and seeing them getting no results in their life, seeing their life turn to shit. And I'm like, okay, y'all ain't on to nothing. Let me go back to what I know. First, God. And I got on my knees and I said, God, if I don't have this right, if I'm doing this wrong, please give me a sign. And then I just started to get sign after sign after sign. Jesus, 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 Jesus. And church trauma, religious trauma, the programming coming from these spiritual spaces on social media was still in my head, saying like, nah, if you're connecting to Jesus, like, you're going back, like, they got you, all this stuff. But once I surrendered to, like, I think it was like a gospel song that I was playing, and like I just started to cry. And that was like I had a moment there where I was like, why are you fighting this? Like, what is it that you're actually fighting? And so after that, I just kind of like started to lean in, took my Bible out, started reading the book of Psalms. And it was also me going to a spiritual shop to get some like herbs and stuff, where I came across a book because I was getting into candle magic, and I came across a book called The Power of the Psalms, and I opened it up and I'm like, this got Bible verses in it. I thought we don't acknowledge the Bible. And that's when I started to deepen my knowledge, and I started to learn, and my ancestors started to teach me like, no, baby girl, there's levels to this. That Bible is a book of spells. That Bible holds weight. That spirit of Jesus holds weight. Stop listening to what these folks are saying. Stop letting other people tell you what to believe in. And so that's really the like brink or the bulk of what I want to land right now in this video. Stop letting other people tell you what to believe in, because we are dealing with spiritual warfare. And these people that are telling you what to believe in or telling you what to consume, you don't even know that some of these people are demons. Some of these people are entities, and their vessel is being used to deter you. As a chosen one, like, you have to think for yourself. I'm not going to sit here, and I think maybe it's just like more work that I have to do to get more confident in saying like, nah, Jesus is the one. But like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you have to connect to Jesus to be okay here. But I am going to tell you that me connecting to Jesus again has really elevated my mind, body, and spirit. And the way that I see the spirit of Jesus is just like Buddha, just like Muhammad. Jesus walked this earth. Jesus was the Son of God. Jesus, what am I trying to say? Jesus is that one for this current time. That's how I feel. That's what I feel currently. And I'm learning to not say like, that's what I know, but I know what I feel. And I know how I feel when I connect to that spirit of Jesus. And it's been a lot of unlearning and relearning even around Jesus. And I've asked Jesus to like, really like present yourself in the way that I can understand you, because I'm scared to connect to you because of the other things that I'm connected to, like my ancestors, like yoga, like and religion will tell me that I'm not supposed to be connecting to yoga. I'm not supposed to be having an altar. I'm not supposed to be doing certain things. I'm not supposed to be dealing with crystals. I don't really use crystals too much anymore. But I have been being called to like bring a few crystals back around me for amplifying energy and just protection. And even there's just been some kind of like, but it's like when I'm honest, when I'm vulnerable, when I say, God, I'm confused, when I say, Jesus, help me understand this, immediately I get confirmation. And Jesus was not a Christian. Jesus was not looking for folks to be worshiping the ground that he walked on. Jesus was a spreader of love energy, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I've always been here for. And I had a moment where I'm like, well, I done tatted my body up with all these symbols. Jesus loves that. God loves that. God is using all of us in different ways to bring us back to source, back to the truth. And the truth is like, you got to learn this stuff for yourself. You have to build your relationship with God. And if you're being called to Jesus, you have to build that relationship by yourself. You cannot consume but so much of what somebody else is saying. Let little things be gems. Pick up what resonates, throw away the rest. But that's just my little spiel right now on it. Like, I see Jesus as a spirit to connect to. I see Jesus as my spirit guide of this lifetime. I see my ancestors as my angels, and I see God as almighty. And that's that on that. And if you're somebody who calls people who connect to Jesus and acknowledge Jesus dumb, they not woke, they still sleep, you don't get it, like, there's still some work for you to do. Because if you feel like you have to be so in control of somebody else's spiritual journey, you're not focused on your own journey. Stop letting people tell you what to believe in. Connect on your own. Connect on your own. I can't tell you how many times the spirit of Jesus has presented himself to me in just ways that just like blow my mind. And it's like, how can I deny this? How can I deny this when it's so clear? So that's that. Before I keep babbling, I think I've made my point, and I said I want to really try to make these videos like not too long, but just long enough for me to like make the point, let it sizzle in your spirit, let you go off into it, because I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm to claim that this is the truth. I'm just here to open your mind, expand your mind, bring you into thinking for yourself, show you what it looks like to surrender. Just be raw and real about these things that I feel like a lot of people aren't real about. It's a lot of people on these platforms that they put themselves in these boxes, and they present their information in a way that's like, this is facts, this is what you should think. And it's just like, no, maybe we're all having different experiences, and maybe some of us are having similar experiences, so we should just share our experience for the folks who resonate with that experience so that they don't feel so alone and so confused. So that's that on that. I actually have, I got to get with the sistren. I covered up one symbol, and I didn't cover the symbol because there was something wrong with the symbol. It started to fade. And so I'm actually making this, you can't see it from here, but I'm like turning it into a cross. And that's my way of saying, like, I surrender. Jesus, I love you. I hear you. Like, I'm there. Like, I didn't put everything else on me. I can do that for you. And I'm even getting emotional even just saying that. And that's how I know, like, this shit is real. This shit is real for me, and this shit is real for a lot of other chosen ones who are fighting, who are in the ring, and they need that protection. They need that spirit of Jesus in their life. I thought I was ending this, but here I go. Whew. I'm gonna let that sizzle though, and I'm gonna go off into my day. I hope something that I said resonated, and if it didn't, this video isn't for you. I got a ton of other videos that'll probably be for you. I love you. I mean it. Bye.